This is Andrew from Seemu Apps, and we're going to look at adding in-app purchases in Swift today. Before I proceed, I highly recommend, if you don't already, that you do get a developer account, because some steps such as these first few steps and also testing the code won't work without a developer account, so I really recommend grabbing one of those. So first of all, head over to the developer portal, and we're going to create a new app identifier. So go to App IDs and add new. For our name, we're just going to do test IApp. For the app ID suffix, when we're using in-app purchase, it does need to be explicit. So in here, we're going to do Seemu.iapp. Under app services, you'll see that in-app purchase will already be selected, so you don't need to worry about that. So go continue, confirm your app ID, and once the registration is complete, go done. Now what you need to do is we head over to iTunes Connect, and you'll go to My Apps, and we need to set up an app in here. So we'll set up our test app in here. From here, this is where we'll set up our app purchases. So go to new iOS app, and our bundle ID isn't there yet, so sometimes it does take a bit to load, so we'll just cancel it. Okay, so we can see that it's loaded up now, so select that test IApp we made. We'll just name it test IApp version 1.0, and SKU we'll just do test. Okay, so we've already used that name, so we'll just do test IApp 1. So now that you've set up your app in iTunes Connect, to add an in-app purchases, you just head on over to the in-app purchases option. And to add one, we select create new. Now you'll see several types in here. The two we're going to focus on in this tutorial is consumable and non-consumable. So for a consumable, that can be purchased multiple times. So that might be coins in an app. You can buy 50 coins, 100 coins, etc. A non-consumable is something that can only be purchased once. It can be later on restored, so that might be upgrading to a pro version of your app where it removes ads and adds extra features. So we're going to add a consumable and a non-consumable, so just select the consumable. For the reference name, this is just a friendly display name that will show up in your financial reports when people purchase the app, so just set one up as coins. And for the product ID, this is going to be something that's referenced in our code to link it up to this specific in-app purchase. So I'm going to do Seemu .iapp.add coins for this one. This is where you select the price. We'll select tier 1, which is the cheapest, so that will be different in different countries, so you can see the table here and the different prices. You do need to add at least one language, so we're going to select Australian English. So you need to add a display name and also a description. So display name will be add coins, description will be add coins to your account. We'll save that. You can add additional review notes when Apple are reviewing your app if you want to explain anything extra, and also you must upload a screenshot for review. What I do, say you've got an in-app purchase that removes ads, I'll upload a screenshot of the app without ads, and I've had no troubles with that so far. So we'll add that in later once we've added the in-app purchase to our app. So once that's set up, just select save. And we've got that first in-app purchase set up there for coins. So we're going to also create a new one of a non-consumable, which can only be used once. And we're just going to say this one's remove ads. So for the product ID, we'll do Seemu .iapp again, .remove ads. We'll just say tier 1, go add language, Australian English, remove ads from the app, and save that. Okay, now that we've got that set up, we can head over to Xcode and create our project and start. Okay, so we're just going to open up Xcode, create a new Xcode project, single view application, go next, just name it Seemu InApp Purchase, go next, and we'll go create. The first thing we need to do in a project is go to info, and in here you'll see a bundle identifier. You'll need to replace that with the one you created earlier, so we could set it up in iTunes Connect. So in our case that was Seemu.iapp, and basically this will link this Xcode project back to the app you made in iTunes Connect, and it will also link up all the in-app purchases through there. So the first thing we're going to do is go to our storyboard and just set that up ready for the application with some buttons for our in-app purchases. So we'll add a button that says remove ads, and we'll just add in a label, just pretend it's an ad that says subscribe to me on YouTube. So I'll just say I've got that as an ad in one of my apps. You're on YouTube. Pretend that's our ad, and we'll add another button for the add coins we've created. So we've got coins in the app, and we'll also add a label showing how many coins we have, which we'll just set to 50 by default. And also one more thing we need to add is an option to restore the purchases. Apple will require this. If you're using iApp, they need a button in your app to restore the purchases, otherwise they will reject your app from the App Store, so make sure you do include that. So just get this all laid out nice and neat. Alright, so we're just going to go to our split view, and I'm going to link all that up. So if we remove ads, we'll create an action, UI button, remove ads. Add coins will also link up, button add coins also as an action. And restore purchases will also link up the same way. So just restore purchases. We'll also link up these labels. So this first one will label add. This one here will do label coin amount. We're also going to connect our buttons up as an outlet, so outlet remove ads, and just the add coins one also, so outlet add coins, and I'll explain why we're doing this later, you'll see why. Okay, so now that we've got that set up, we're just going to close this down, go to our view controller, and we'll start adding in the code for our IApp. So under here, we're just going to create a variable for coins equals 50. That will store the coin amount. Up the top here, we need to do import store kit. And for the view controller, we also need to add in SKPayments request delegate. and SKPayments transaction observer. This is needed for our InApp codes to actually work, so your class will need this. So first of all, when our view loads, what we're going to do, we're going to just disable our buttons, remove ads, and add coins equals false. Now the reason for this is it actually needs to load up the IApps before you can use them. So if you do try and click on those buttons before it's loaded, it won't do anything. So we will re-enable those buttons once the in-app purchases have loaded. So add coins.enabled equals false. Okay, so now that we've done that, we'll start doing our in-app purchase code. So what we want to do, we'll just do it below here. We need to create a variable list equals SKProduct. And also another variable P, which equals SKProduct. So what this SKProduct is that stores one in-app purchase. So this one will just store our current in-app purchase we're working on or the user is purchasing. And this one will store an array of in-app purchases, so everyone that is possible in our app. So the first thing we're going to do is do function ByProduct. And basically this code is run when you buy an actual product. So do print line buy plus p dot product identifier. So this product identifier is the one we created earlier. So that was Seemu.iapp.remove ads and also Seemu.iapp.addCoins. So we just put this print line code in here, so when we are debugging and the application is running, we can see exactly at what step it is in behind the scenes. So after this, we'll do var pay equals SKPayments brackets product semicolon p SKPayments queue dot default queue dot add transaction observer self SKPayments queue dot add payments pay as SKPayments. We're getting an error here, so we'll just have a look at what's going on. SKPayment is not convertible to SKPayments queue. Yeah, so I just forgot here, just forgot to add default queue. There we go, that's all fixed. So the next one is function products request. And this is run basically to load your in-app purchases. So this pulls them down from the iTunes Connect server and will pull down the price, the description, and everything in here. So once this is ran, this is when we can re-enable the buttons because our app will have all the information about the in-app purchases. So I'll do print line product request. There my product equals response for products. Do for product in my product. We're just going to put some code here. So to know what's going on behind the scenes. So print line product added. Print line product identifier. Print line product localized title. Print line product localized description. And also print line product.price. Do list.append product as SKProduct. Finally, when that's done, we'll re-enable our buttons. So do outlet remove ads enabled is true. Outlet add coins enabled equals true. So basically, this requests a list of the in-app purchases from the iTunes Connect server. Once it's loaded it, it will add it to this list here, which we created earlier up here. And once they're all loaded, we'll re-enable our buttons, because that will be when the user can actually purchase the in-app purchases. The next one we need to do is a payment queue. So we function payment queue. And make sure it's updated transactions, the one you're choosing. So the print line add payment. So when you're purchasing something in app, you'll see do you want to purchase this app? Buy, cancel. When you click on buy or cancel or whatever, this bit of code here is going to be run. So before transaction, any object in transactions where trans equals transaction as SKPayments transaction. There is an error, we'll just print line trans.transaction error. Trans.error. That's it. Right, now we need to do a switch. Trans.transaction state. So basically, depending on what state it is, we're going to run different bits of codes here. So our first case will be case.purchased. And basically, this is if the buy went through all okay, so we want to unlock the IApp here. So also do print line p.product identifier. So the actual specific one that's been purchased will be stored in P, and how we figure out what one's been purchased and what to do with it, what we'll do, we'll add in a case statement. So do let prod ID equals p.product identifier as string, switch prod ID. Do a case here. This will be Seemu.IApp.remove ads. And at the moment we'll just do print line remove ads. So we'll come back here and actually add the code to remove the ads. But this is the way you put in the code once the actual purchases went through. So do Seemu.IApp.addCoins. So again, we'll come back to this later, but if this goes through, that means they have purchased it, so we'll add the coins to their account. So do print line add coins to account. And also adding a default. And we'll do print line I have not set up. So make sure you do set up everything in here, otherwise it won't go through and have some unhappy users. So now that we've done that, we've got to do another case, which is failed. So we'll do case.failed. And this is if the transaction failed for whatever error. So the user didn't pay, maybe they lost their internet connection or something like that. So we print line by error. I'll do Q dot finish transaction trans and will break. I also forgot to add these into the purchased case as well, so add that in under once you've given the user their in-app purchases. So we've got one more case to add in here, which is just a default. We'll do print line default, so it shouldn't actually ever reach this state, but we just need it in there just in case. We'll do break. And that's our payment queue finished now. Got some more functions to do. So one is function finish transaction. Just grab it over here. Got two more actually. They need to be in there, but you don't really need any code to be running in there. It's just something that needs to be run in the background. So the first one is function finish transaction. Brackets trans SKPayments transaction, and we've got a print line finish transaction, so we know when our transaction finished, and also payment queue removed transaction, so that will remove the transaction in there. So now that we've all got that all set up, go back up to the top to the view the load, and we need to set up the IApps once our app loads. So to do that, we do if SKPayments queue dot can make payments else. So if the payment queue can make payments, we'll just do print line IApp is enabled loading. So this means the in-app purchases are enabled on the user's device and they can use it. And basically we need to do their product ID, ns set, plus ns set objects. And the first one we'll do Seemu.IApp.addCoins. Second one we'll do is Seemu.IApp.remove ads. We'll do their request, SKProducts request, equals SKProducts request brackets product identifiers, and then we'll add in the product ID list we just made there. Do request.delegate for self and request.start. Now under this else statement, if it gets to here, that means the device doesn't have IApps enabled, so it's probably disabled on their device for whatever reason. A parent may have disabled it so the children can't use it, so you probably want to throw up an error to the user here. So we'll just do print line, please enable IApps. So basically what this bit of code is doing here exactly is when you upload, it requests these IDs for your IApps that you created earlier. We'll send off the request. Once that starts, that will run this products request code here. We'll add your in-app purchases to this list. And once it's got all those, it'll have the price, the description and all that. It will enable the button. So if you have a table view or something and you want to list the name of the in-app purchase and the price, depending on what country the user's in, the price is going to be different. This is where you would actually set it in here once it loads it all up. Okay, so we've just got a few more things to do. So the first one is our buttons to run the in-app purchase code. So we'll do the first one, which is remove ads. So we need to do for product in list. Do their product ID equals product.product identifier, and do if prod ID equals Seemu.iapp.remove ads. We'll set the product P to equal our product, and then we'll buy product and break. So what this is doing is it's going through this list of the possible in-app purchases. Once it finds the correct one, which is remove ads, it sets this P variable to that one, and then it will, this ByProduct will launch the code that will automatically come up on a user's device going, do you want to purchase remove ads? And it will show the price and description and all that to them. So for ad coins, it's exactly the same pretty much. So we'll just copy that code in there, and we'll just change the product ID to ad coins. So this restore purchases code is really easy. In here we just need to do SKPayments queue .default queue .add transaction observer self and SKPayments queue .default queue .restore completed transaction. To restore the transactions, what we need to do, we need to add in another function in here. So what we'll do is the function payments queue restore completed transactions. So this only restores the one-off purchases such as remove ads. So do print line transactions restored. Do their purchased item IDs equals an empty array. Do for transaction in queue transactions. Do var t SKPayments transaction. equals transaction as SKPayments transaction. Do let prod ID, which is a product ID, equals t.payment product identifier as a string. And basically this product ID is the same as down here when the user's actually purchasing an item. So we'll just copy this code here. So we'll look up the product ID. If it's remove ads, it will restore the remove ads code in here. The ad coins won't even get to it because it's a consumable that can be used multiple times. It can't be restored, so it's only one-off purchases that can be restored. Okay, now that we've done that, we'll add in our code that will actually run once a user purchases remove ads and add coins. So we'll just do in here function remove ad. Also function add coins. So for remove ads, we'll just do label add.remove from superview. So we'll just remove the ad. And for add coins, we'll do coins equals coins plus 50. We'll just say we'll give them 50 coins. Do label coins coin amounts dot text equals coins. So what you'll need to do, if you want something like remove ads, you will need to save the setting to your user's device. So that needs to be something saved in something called NS user defaults, which I will be making a tutorial for that, and I'll display the link on screen now once that's done. So that's all our code done. So now we can actually test this on an iPhone and an actual device and make sure it all works alright. Okay, so now we're just going to test the in-app purchases on the simulator. A few notes about the simulator. It doesn't really work that well with testing in-app purchases, so you will need to actually test it on your actual iPhone, iPad, or whatever you have to make sure it all works correctly. So I'll just show you now. If we go remove ads, it will pop up asking you for your password. I've put it in earlier, so it's already got that saved in there. Once you've put in your password, it will ask you if you want to confirm it, and it will show the price, so you can make sure the price and all that's working fine. But when we go by, we'll ask us to put in our password here. We'll go OK. Got a wrong password, so we'll retry. Notice that it doesn't actually do anything, and down in the console here we get this error here. So when we test it on our actual device, it will work correctly and it will remove the ad label here. Or if we go add coins, we'll go buy, and it won't add any coins, and we'll just get that error here as well. So I'm just going to show you how to test it on your actual device now. So what we need to do initially is set up a provisioning profile. So to do that, you go to the Apple developer website, which you will need a developer account for this. Go to provisioning profiles, and we will create a new one. We want one for app development, so this is to install development apps and on test devices. This is important because when you're testing an in-app purchase, you don't want to spend any real money. So this will let you test them with dummy accounts you can set up, which I'll show you after. And you can test all the in-app purchases on your phone. So when you are ready to submit it to the App Store, you create an App Store one and then you add it to your project. So just make sure it's on app development for now. Go to continue. We need to select the bundle ID for our app. So for this one it was test iApp. Go continue. Need to select the certificates, so I'll just select all, go continue. Select the devices you want to run it on, I'll choose everything. And we'll just name this test iApp dev for a development profile. Go generate. So download that. Once that's downloaded, we'll just close down Xcode. Go to our downloads folder. And to install that, just double click to install it. It won't actually show up with a message or anything, so just give it a second, and once that's done, open Xcode back up, open our project back up, and to add that in, we need to go to our project settings. So we'll just go up to here, and then we'll go to build settings, and then we will add this in under provisioning profile. Find the one that you downloaded, select that, and now that's ready to run in our iPhone. Okay, so just before testing on my actual iPhone, just remember I have to link this code up to our in-app purchases, so I forgot to do that. So I'll just scroll down here. So when it's restored, we need to remove ads, and also just add coins. Also, it should never reaches when restoring the in-app purchase. This section here, the payment queue updated transactions, is when a user actually pays for the in-app purchase. So we'll do remove ads here. We'll do add coins here. So now that we've done that, we'll go build clean, and we'll run that on our actual iPhone, and we should see that all working. Alright, here we go. So we'll just run this. So this is my actual iPhone here showing on screen. We'll actually see the app running with our in-app purchases. So it's just loading up here. See the buttons are enabled now that it's loaded. So we'll go remove ads. We'll go buy. I've already tested it, so we'll just go OK. We'll purchase it again. See the ads have been removed now from the app. Go add coins. Go buy. Go thank you, your purchase was successful. I don't think the label has enough room to display the coins, so we'll just go back to Xcode. We'll go back to the storyboard and we'll give that some more space, and we'll rerun that, and we'll see it add coins once a user purchases that. Let's go add coins, go buy, see that adds 50 coins, and if we go add again, they'll just be able to keep on buying coins in our app. Go restore purchases. Since we've already brought remove ads, we should be able to restore that, and that will remove the ads. Doesn't seem to be doing anything, so let's just check that restore purchases. Okay, so I've just realized here that this is incorrect, so you just got to be careful. It is very easy to make mistakes, as you can see. So this is meant to be function payments queue. Restore completed transactions finished, and that's used to restore your finished transactions. So we'll just grab all this code here, move it into here, get rid of that, and then we'll just test our app once again. And this should work when we restore our transactions now. Now, as you can see, it's restored the remove ads transaction because that's just a one-time purchase. So if you have any questions or anything about this process, just let me know. I'll leave a link to the source code below because it is quite complicated at first and in-depth, but once you do it a few times you get the hang of it. It's the same every time, so you do get used to it once you've done it a few times. And also, just quickly, to set up the test users for in-app purchases, to do that, go to iTunes Connect, go to your users and groups, sandbox testers. Now in here you can add a new account. All the details can be fake, they're just for testing out, so it can be whatever you like. Put in a fake email and password, but make sure you remember it. And it's testing in-app purchase, that's what you'll sign in as, so whatever email you put here and whatever password you put there. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe and leave any feedback below. Also check out our website, Facebook and Twitter by clicking or tapping any of the buttons on screen.